Whenever we think of happiness, we normally think of living the life of our dreams. We think of that raise at the office or that promotion that you were longing for, and maybe that dream that you had of someday traveling around the world. We think of it as something we attain in some distant future when we have all that we desire. When you have crossed off all that stuff on your bucket list and when you're living a life that your friends envy. We look up to the celebrities as they walk on the red carpet and we wish we had something, some taste of their lifestyle that maybe we could experience happiness. Maybe then, when happiness is really something that we would have right here, right now if we choose to do so. You don't need that perfect wedding or that perfect man or woman to be happy. You don't need that perfect career or a perfect set of children to have the happiness you've always longed for. Do not hope and pray that someday happiness will suddenly fall in your laps, for it turns out that happiness is more of an internal, intentional practice than you actually thought it was. As we go through life, I think we could all agree that children tend to be the happiest people in the room. Children tend to be lighthearted and don't get bogged down in the stress of everyday life. We often assume it's because children don't have responsibilities, but it could be that children are more naturally mindful than the rest of us. Children are born with such a huge sense of wonder and curiosity. Everything is new for them and everything is an experience to be sought after. From walking to eating to touching any object that they can reach after. As we grow up, we take up more complex roles in our lives and eventually we become more self-conscious and more anxious about the circumstances that we're in. We try to prove to the people around us that we too can have a big car or a big house or go on a big vacation with the kids. We tend to live in our own heads and go through the motions. We often thinking of the next bill, the next vacation, the next paycheck, or we're simply just busy trapped in the regrets of the past. We're too busy holding on to grudges and trying not to lose face with a particular group of people that may or may not even care about you. There was a research done not so long ago by a Harvard researcher named Matt Killingsworth. He created an app in attempts to answer a question that we have all asked ourselves in one way or another. The question attempted is to answer what makes us happy. He found some really astonishing results. We are happiest when we are mindful of the moment, and we are least happy when the mind is wandering. His research on happiness confirms that this tendency that we have of constantly living in our heads is the very cause of our unhappiness. The research finds that we spend generally 47% of our day in mind wandering, from sitting in traffic to grooming. It literally permeates through everything we do. What is surprising is that even when indulging in pleasant mind wandering and neutral wandering, it still diminishes our happiness levels. Even if you're just thinking of what a great vacation you had last month, or that exciting thing that will happen this weekend, it doesn't matter. It still diminishes your happiness. Live on earth and not in your mind. The quote sums it up beautifully. The present is the best present one can ever have, and one must take the time to unwrap every hidden gem that lies underneath it. Happiness comes from experiencing every moment as it occurs, even in the most mundane of activities. Mindfulness is a practice that is sometimes underrated but turns out to be vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health.